Yes, let me get organized here. Hold on. Where the heck are we here? We want to. There we go. Hit the right button and it works.
All right.
I think how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, welcome everyone. This is Tech for Senior Live. I'm going to. We're streaming this, of course, to YouTube and Facebook. So. You can enter into the stream either way, and for all our viewers out there, which I'm not sure there are any yet, we'll just sit and have a chat. I'd like to introduce everybody. First of all, there's the three of us from Tech for Senior Live. This is our live Monday show, and we have with us today myself, of course. There's Huey Poplick and Bob G from Tech for Senior on Monday, and today we have a special guest with us, and our special guest is Joan Bowler, who we're happy to have with us. We of course know Joan from a community that we belong to, Michael Daniels community, and this is and speaking of Michael Daniels community, guess who's in the and guess who is in the Richard's in the out there on the listening to us, and has said, "Hey, Joan, Huey, Bob, and Ron, hello there, Richard."
Hi, Richard.
So today is again, this is pretty relaxed. What we do is we sit and talk about life and talk about technology, and of course enjoy our coffee. Did everyone get their coffee? There we go. Bob. Great, super. Joan, do you want to tell us about yourself? I mean, what I said to people this week, I said, Joan's coming on. I said, she is the tech of all techs. I said, you should, if you have tough questions, ask Joan. Give you the tough ones today. Give us three guys the easy ones, because you do tech all the time in your role at Hilton Head. But maybe you could tell us a bit about what you do.
Sure. I am a geek and a sci-fi fangirl and a musician. So my life is computers and music and computers. I have been involved with our local Hilton Head Island Computer Club since 1991. I just happened on a notice in the paper that it was going to be an open meeting, and I went, and I've been volunteering ever since. I am currently Vice President and the Resource Center Director, meaning I just keep all the supplies up at the Resource Center, make sure that the computers are working the way they're supposed to. But we have a lovely Resource Center that is now beginning to open primarily for one-on-one by appointment, but we're just on the verge of getting back to walk-ins and be able to help. We've got about 850 members currently. I'm very pleased that we were able to stick with it over the year. I've been fascinated by tech since I was 10 years old and read Madeleine L'Engle's book, A Wrinkle in Time. And went to Katie Gibbs in New York after high school and jumped into the tech world. I worked at Children's Television Workshop. That was my first job. And I was the one they came to. I don't know how they knew this, but I was the one they came to if the VCR wasn't working, or the telex broke down or needed to be rethreaded, or a film reel wasn't working right on a project. I mean, I don't know why they thought I could do this, but I was secretary to the assistant director of operations, and it was a blast. And I've been doing it ever since. I took 2 classes in '82, an introduction to computer concepts and a word processing class on a deckmate. And I've been doing this ever since, whether it was as a temp going into offices, and then now with the computer club. And then I started my own consulting business in '95, and I help people make peace with their computers. So
My
that's
daughter
good.
went to the same school as you.
Excellent.
Yep. In the Pan Am building. Well, what was the Pan Am building?
Now, Hilton Head is where again?
I am just north of Savannah, Georgia, in the low country of South Carolina.
Right. Now we were out. Now you're on an island, right?
Yes, yes. We're the second largest island on the eastern coast, second to Long Island.
We've been there. What's the name of the island again?
Hilton Head Island.
It's Hilton Head. I think I'll have to look back because when we full-timed in our RV for
absolutely
for
great destination for RV.
Yeah, I think because it's got the big RV out on the beach there, doesn't it?
We've
not RV park on the beach here. No, not on the island.
We've been deep sea fishing in Hilton Head.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Best fish it was a 35-pound king mackerel.
Nice.
What a fight. And such eating. Oh my God, that thing was wonderful. Yes.
Let me we have a bunch of people in the waiting room, and I wanted to introduce Joan. If you don't know, we have people even watching the show from Germany. They heard that you were coming, so Detlef is here from Germany. Thanks so much for coming. He of course is on the show on Monday. He frequently comes, and so that's great. I can truly say we are an intercontinental show. Joel says Joel's a frequent here, and on Monday he says Weiss is accepting orders for watch 47, same price. So I guess they're ending up. So they're moving ahead now. Let's see what else. Weiss answered the left-right wrist thing needed for accuracy, but no details. Weiss answered the question. So he must know how to put it between. Remember, he asked the question on Monday, Bob, about the right and the left wrist. He must be able to do that now.
Are the smart watches made for like a particular wrist? Is that you're supposed to like?
Yeah, you can either put them on your left or right wrist, and it depends how they orientate the faces, right? So
right.
So usually on watches you can specify. Most people have it on their left wrist, but some people want it on their right, and you can usually specify.
But when I remember ordering it, I had to say whether I wanted to wear it on my right or my left wrist.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Maybe they set it as a default when you order it. Maybe that's the way it goes. And of course, and then we have Chris and Jim. So I don't know if you guys know, but Jim's coming on the show next week. We talked about, and I said, we'll always get Chris on, and I bet you Jim feels bad, and he's a real techie guy.
Feeling left out.
And I think Jim feels left out sometimes. So I didn't ask Chris. I just asked Jim. Chris is probably going to be mad at me now. Anyway, so I asked Jim. I said, "Why don't you come on the show and we'll just talk tech?" So Jim's going to come on next week.
Awesome. I look forward to that one.
Yes. And Dick Vogel says hi all.
Hello, Dick.
And Joan Greedy just checking in. Hi, right? Southern Florida. He says, I wrote the same watch you're setting in. But you can set it. Good.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Good.
Jim knows what you said about Chris. Uh-oh. Jim doesn't feel left out.
We're glad.
Yeah, that's probably Chris that said that, right? Yeah. And so, sorry, can set by software left to right. Okay, that's good. Great. All right, well, we have some viewers. Chris knows now, probably isn't right. Well, we can have Chris on next week. Well, Chris is actually coming on the show, not this Monday, but the following Monday, right? At least I hope she's still going to come. Maybe she's mad. Anyway, yeah, she's going to come because there's big changes with Google Photos coming, right?
Oh yeah. I'm really taking advantage of her tips.
Yeah.
I have my dad's ancient. He's been gone since 2016, and my sister had it for a while, and now I have it's an HP laptop, and I have had I've been using Chris's suggestion of uploading by folder and immediately putting it into an album. That solves the problems. That's just perfect. So I thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Chris, you're so wonderful. She's
I've
never
got
talking to you like
I've got about 6,000 photos on Flickr, and Flickr was part of Yahoo. I don't know if that was part of the sale this week or
Oh my
not.
goodness, good question.
And I've not seen anything said about it. They do talk about the AOL and the Yahoo, but I haven't seen anything about Flickr. So I don't know if that went with the deal or not. And if so, if they're going to do anything with it.
Where is it?
Yeah.
No, Flickr got sold a number of years ago to a private company. So Flickr was no longer part of Yahoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a private. It's being used by a separate company. So it's probably okay.
I have photos up on Flickr also, and they're still there. They're fine.
I think we should talk to Chris about it, but I mean, it's probably time in life where we should pull them off of Flickr and move them over to Google Photos. I think
Flickr is a backup to Google Photos.
Yeah, I guess.
As are a couple of others.
That works, absolutely.
Right.
But
everything's up on Google Photos, and then they're also in other places that want to give away unlimited photos for free.
Yeah, the stuff I have on Flickr, I put up long before there was anything like Google Photos.
Right. All our old RVing pictures of all the times we toured around. That was back in 2007, I think. And when we toured around the United States and everything, all our thousands of pictures are all on Flickr. So what we did last week, Joan, is we sort of
I watched part of it.
I
did watch part of it last week. Yes.
Yeah. I shared my screen, and I brought up our Facebook account where we
the list of topics.
Yeah, we have a list of topics, and I thought, is that okay with you? Maybe we could go through them and talk about them and see what happens.
Yeah, I may not know much about some of it, but
well, we can go through and everyone can sort of share. Let me see if I'm going to do a share of my screen. We'll share this. And we will maybe do, yeah, I think that's okay. Everyone can see that, fine. We'll take.
Read it. You can see it.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So the first article that came up today, I thought I'd ask Huey about this. All the space junk that's going up. So this was on the news this morning actually, and was about this Chinese rocket that went up, and of course it's now space junk. And normally, I guess these rockets, when they come down, they can actually either destroy them or blast them or change the orbit and kick them out into space. But this one misfired or whatever, and so it's just falling down to Earth uncontrolled, and nobody knows where it's going to land. And it's a big item, if you box you on the head, this is going to be ouchy, so, but nobody knows where it's going to go. And this actually was on our Canadian national news today. So what do you think? What's with all this stuff that's going up into space? Are we going to get
well, this particular one, I think I read, I can't remember whether it was 22 or 200 tons. It's not a small piece of space junk. It is huge. They say a lot of it will burn up, and this is the second rocket of this type that the Chinese have sent up. And the first one, they had the same problem. They couldn't control it to come back. That one landed somewhere. Some of it, I guess, landed in the ocean, but some landed in Madagascar or somewhere. I can't remember where it was. And it was a huge piece of metal that landed, but nobody got hurt, didn't hit anybody or anything. But this one, again, they say it can be anywhere from Chile to New Zealand, as far north as upstate New York. That's a big area. That's a big area. Well, upstate New York Toronto is right in that same area. So,
so if we see something coming, we duck.
Yeah, absolutely. Or run.
Run. 28,000 kilometers per hour. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of it will burn up, but not all of it because it's so big. It's so big. And this is only the second of several they're building their own space station.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what they're using these to send up the pieces and parts.
Oh. Yikes.
So
this is another
back very well, really.
Yeah. So here's another one. This is, of course, the daily leaks coming about the Apple 7 watch, right? The daily leaks that we're getting. And of course, it's going to measure your blood pressure, your blood sugar, but most recently, your blood alcohol level. And I think, oh, that's a bummer. So did you guys see this one? This was
they have like tools that you can buy, like you can take a breathalyzer test and it won't start you can't start your car unless you have no, that kind of thing. So that if it worked out that if it caught too much blood alcohol level, that it wouldn't let you start your car if you're using the Apple environment with your car and stuff. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. So that's sort of cool. I thought that was so we're getting closer and closer to that being released. And here's another one, Huey. Huey always does our Starlink. This was, I don't know if you saw, this was in the paper, the news today, was the Starlink has received over 500,000 orders for Starlink, right? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they still are saying that if you're in a big metropolitan area, it's probably not going to work well for you. But still, a half a million orders is a lot.
Yeah, and do you think it'll work well for those areas of the country they can't get lines to?
That's exactly who it's for.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a pretty cool thing. I heard this morning that the Dogecoin, which is a big, Elon Musk is a big fan, they just went up like 12,000%.
Oh, really?
Yes, as of this morning. And it's like, so if you bought 1,000 Dogecoin, it would now be, as of this morning, was 120,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's that whole Bitcoin blockchain, that's just bizarre stuff out there.
Yeah, it's a little beyond me, and I don't have the money to invest in it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
So so I don't worry about it. But I guess some people are making a lot of money, but some people have lost a lot of money, especially the
ones that lose their key.
That's what I was going to mention. And if you lose your key, you're out to lunch. There is nothing you can do about it, and you've lost that money, and nobody's got it then.
So Richard asked what was the best Android watch to do this, because we talked about the i7, and that would be the Samsung Watch 4 that's coming out. So it will be the competition to the competition to the Apple Watch for sure.
And what about Google's purchase of Fitbit and
well, yes, and they've got the Sense out now, and so we'll probably see the next version of the Sense that comes out, and we'll probably do that, because you're right, Google's certainly, the money's going to be huge in this, so I think that everybody's going to want to play with that.
I still wish I could do it with my Google Glass. I hate looking down.
Going back to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy about him. He is the host of Saturday Night Live this coming Saturday. And apparently some of the members of the cast are very upset about it. And I haven't figured out with that at all. I don't.
Be nice if they all quit and he became the permanent host. I might even watch the show. I certainly don't watch it now.
Yeah, Pete Davidson, who's very clever and funny and weird. He's all for it, and he doesn't. He's a member of the cast and doesn't even understand why people are against it.
Oh, I did set my DVR on YouTube TV if it's going to work on my Roku TV. I did set it to record this Saturday so I can watch it because I probably won't remember to watch it live.
What? It's past my bedtime. Is it past 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 Eastern, so yeah, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other one was I posted this article just to remind everybody, about e-bikes. And this was an article this morning I read on how to buy an e-bike. Now, the reason that I posted this was I just bought an e-bike, and I have posted a few articles on our Facebook page about e-bikes, and they get a lot of views. And so I think that seniors probably are quite interested in e-bikes, because I'm sort of testing the water whether to do a video, make a video and do a little series on electric bikes. But they certainly are. There's a lot of interest in them, and particularly with seniors. So I thought that's the reason I put that on there.
Yeah,
Bob, I don't think you and I rushed out to get one, did we?
And I have a lovely recumbent trike, so I don't need to. I can't.
Right.
So it's a different angle and stuff. But I think it's interesting because Hilton Head has like hundreds of miles and miles and miles of bike paths, and it's been brought up about, because we've got regular bicyclers who don't really pay attention to the traffic laws anyway. Then there are the electric bikes that are just beginning to appear, and whether they are allowed on the bike paths or do they have to stay on the road. And then we also have the Segways that are in town. We have a little firm that has little Segways, so they're all traveling around the island on this. So it's an interesting. The e-bikes are wonderful, but in certain areas they could become a hazard to people on a bicycle path with people with normal bicycles.
Walking, yeah.
Yeah, or walking, exactly.
Or walking. And Detlef says Starlink sent up 2 batches of 60 satellites in the last. Is there any room up there anymore? I mean, come on.
They're all going to start bumping into each other, playing bumper pool with each other.
They've got about 1,600 that they've launched so far. A few of them have come back down, but or are just shut off. But for the most part, they just got an approval for what, another 4,200. So there's going to be a lot more up there.
It's going to get crowded up there.
Yeah.
Already crowded up there.
Jim and Chris says they like their e-bikes. So I guess, yeah. I wonder if I bet you they have foldable ones. That's because they probably take them traveling in their RV. So they probably have, because the one thing about e-bikes is they're heavy, right? Because they got the battery and all the stuff in there. So maybe I bet you they've got. He says space is a big place.
Yeah, but not if it's all hanging around our little orb.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they could all get kind of pushed out and someplace else, that would be good.
If you sent them that far out into space, the lag time on the signal would be.
I was thinking more of
from now, your signal comes back. That's not what you're looking for.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm having fun with that. Oh, the other one was, this was just out this morning, and this has to do with the Pixel phone and the new Google Photos space requirements. And I guess this is a little I gotcha thing. Google's saying, okay, if you guys buy a Pixel phone, you don't have to worry about space requirements in Google Photos. And I thought, well, interesting. Bob's got it. Have you got a Pixel?
That's a Pixel.
Yeah, I got the Pixel. I got the Pixel 3, and I think I'm going to get the Pixel 6. Apparently, is going to be out in October, November sort of time frame, and I'll be back down in Mesa by then. So I think I'll probably pick one up. I think I'll pick the Pixel 6 up when I get down there. But the point everyone should be understanding is that if you are worried about your storage, is that if you do decide and you think, well, the Pixel is the one you want, or you can't make your decision between Samsung or Google, you might want to think about that, because of course you'll get free upload and no storage fees if you take the pictures with your Pixel.
Yep.
Which is pretty darn cool. Joan, this was a fun one. This was Google Drive tips and tricks. And what they showed it. Did you see this article?
I just saw it on the Facebook page. That looks interesting. I'm gonna have to go check that one out.
Yeah,
I tried to play it, and the video wouldn't run.
It would run. Oh well. Anyway, so one of the things that was interesting, you probably know this, Joan. I forgot about this. But what you can do is, if you want to, in Google Drive, if you want to make a new document, all right, then what you can do is, what is it? It's docs.new or something. I don't know. But you can put that into your web browser and save it. Save it as a bookmark. So every time you want to open a new or start a new document, you don't actually have to go to Drive, open the document, create a new one. You can just hit the bookmark that says, open, it'll automatically open a new document. And you can do that with a spreadsheet, and you do it with all the different things that Google Drive has just by creating a bookmark. And I thought that was sort of interesting.
Very interesting. I just go to docs.google.com and then hit plus. I mean, it's the same kind of thing, only just a single click instead of two.
Right.
But I've used Google products like that, just typing in, like photos.google.com or translate or images or whatever it is I'm going to, using that process of filling in the URL.
Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know why it didn't play for you guys.
I'll try it later and let you know.
Yeah. Anyway, that was sort of interesting. It was an interesting trip in that. And the next one was Starlink landed a Starship.
That was incredible.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I watched that.
Watched the landing.
I still think every time I see it, I think of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets.
Yeah.
And early TV sci-fi. When they were live, and then they show a little video or something. Oh, absolutely.
It's like, that's why, science fiction, science future. There we go. So I was fascinated by the Mars landing and what's going on with that beautiful little Integrity chopper that they've got floating around up there. It's just incredible. Mm-hmm. I've been following that. They really did a nice job to share that with the world. But this is fascinating to watch this stuff. I've always been. Liz remembers the Space Cadets.
Remember that? And Jim or Chris said they landed some of the others, but they blew up. That's right.
Right. The black one landed and sat there and kind of fumed and smoked and fuzzled and blew up.
And then Jim says it takes about take the bats out about 45 pounds
on their e-bikes. They're folding e-bikes,
mm-hmm.
and when he takes the batteries out, it's about 45 pounds. So they're manageable weight wise.
Yeah, sort of cool.
Very cool.
Bob, you posted this. I didn't actually read this article. What's with Peloton bikes or treadmills? What's the deal on that?
Recall, baby, because one of the kids got killed.
Really?
Yeah. First Peloton didn't want to admit or own up to anything, but apparently and the latest thing is they also got themselves hacked. So if you are a Peloton user,
oh my Lord,
all of your information is now with a hacker. So they got kind of a double whammy. Number one is a recall, and you only have a certain amount of time if you want to turn it back in to get your money back. And you can also already know that your information's now out there with a hacker.
Yikes.
Yep.
Well, that's one thing I don't have to worry about.
I don't either. My exercise, well, I won't go into what my exercises are, but
well,
mine is bending my elbow.
The biggest exercise is my mouth.
So just to let people know, maybe they're watching, they don't understand what a Peloton is. Most people, you've heard of treadmills. You walk on treadmills or you have exercise bikes and all that sort of stuff. Well, Peloton is a specific unit like that, but it's linked into their own system, and you can do training. They have personal trainers that actually will do one-on-one FaceTime or face you on the screen, and they'll go through the training systems with you. on the Peloton system. So it's not just the bike; it's the link into their software and their screens. So
huge community that's involved in this.
Yeah.
They don't have one or two people. We're talking about thousands and thousands of folks that are part of that whole exercise ecosystem.
So Detlef says, this is the first start. They made a good landing. The three others didn't. Well, I guess 1 out of 3.
Yeah, the first 2 blew up before, either on landing or before they landed. The last one landed and sat there a while and then blew up.
And then blew up.
And this one, like you said, looked like space cadets landing.
Well, I think could you parachute out? I'd rather maybe take my chances with a parachute rather than sort of sitting on that rocket coming back.
Well, except that's how you reuse them. I mean, that's what they just did, sending them back up to, sending folks up to the space station.
This is not the part that has the people in it.
Yeah,
right, it's just the main rocket.
It's not. Oh, there's nobody in it.
No.
This is still a test. This is the one they want to use to take people to Mars.
Correct.
Well, the moon first.
Or the moon, yeah.
Right. Oh, I see.
And even the ones that blew up, they did learn from it, which is why the last one was successful. So even failures have some benefit.
Wow.
Della said they're the final version going to the moon will have over 30 engines. Really?
That's a serious rocket.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. The hacking of Peloton had nothing to do with your connection or level of protection on your computer.
Good point. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your account at Peloton, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Huey, you put this up. This is Chris did a really good job the other day at that famous show, Geeks on Tour, that is my favorite show on Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. There's your ad. Which is on, she did it on QR codes. And so I think you put
really
this
good.
Yeah, I did, because if you remember, I did a thing on QR codes on Tech for Seniors several weeks ago.
Yeah. Do you, Joan, do you use this? Do you make QR codes? I guess we could make
I haven't really had a need for that kind of thing, just because, well, 2 things. The level of knowledge and or interest by our computer club members, probably there aren't a lot of people that would jump on the QR code bandwagon. They might ask. We might do one of the things we've been able to continue doing, especially because of Zoom, is weekly presentations at 2 p.m. on Mondays, and then a workshop or Q&A at 4 p.m. on Mondays. So it's something we're working on, putting the next batch of the 4 p.m. workshops together. So we might do something on that. But I haven't had a personal need to use them, other than to use my phone to figure out what the QR code is saying. But I don't, not to create them, in other words.
Right. So let me ask you a question. What you think about this? We have a lot of trouble with Tech for Senior I put links up and say, okay, here you click this to take you to our show today, right? To take you to the right channel. And I don't know why, but people can't figure out if you click a link or how that works, or I put the wrong link in or something. Maybe it'd be easier if we put a QR code up, then you click on that, or you think that would work? Do you think that's a good idea?
But
we'd have to teach them how to use QR codes.
Scanned, right? The QR codes are scanned by a phone.
Yeah.
So if are we watching things on the computer on a browser? Or are we watching on a tablet? Or are we watching on a phone? I think it depends. I would not do one or the other.
Okay.
Right.
I do both.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yep.
I mean, it's if it's something if that's the direction you want to go in, that's what I would do is include, there are certain places that the QR code would work well.
Right.
And there are places like if you're sending out an email, you want to use the link.
And if you have it on your website, and if I want to join through my laptop, I would have to pick up my laptop and hope that the camera on the laptop can read that QR code.
Exactly. So
Because if
that's
I
why-
use my phone, I come in through the phone. That's not how
Yeah.
I want to get there.
Exactly.
Right.
My
But
point
you
exactly.
can have one up there for a QR code for those that want to join via phone.
Or an
tablet.
iPad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or tablet. Yeah. Or an Android tablet. You know, it doesn't have to
Yep.
just be an iPad.
Exactly. Okay. Well, good. That's good. Good. I got some ideas there. I will pass that. Oh, now this is so cool. So Bob did the famous dishwasher one. You know, do you remember our show last week when Bob posted that one on? If you want to spend a half hour and watch it, what these guys did is they put a video camera inside a dishwasher,
GoPro.
dishwasher, and they ran it through a cycle and put dishes in, and so you can actually watch the video as it goes through the washing cycle. Now, Bob, I put 20 minutes in. I didn't get to the end. Did you get to the end?
I watched the whole thing. If you remember, I did a GoPro on my Weiss vacuum cleaner. So I was interested.
Yeah.
I was interested in this one because they used the GoPro. Of course, they had something that they put the GoPro in, and it still wound up getting killed at the end because it gets quite hot in a dishwasher, okay?
Yeah.
And it was the heat that actually destroyed the casing and then got to the GoPro. So
So what
I hope they get a lot of the stuff out of that video because they're going to have to replace their GoPro.
Well, they're expensive, yeah. So what they did in this, so here's what they did is they took weed eater line. They got six or eight different companies that made weed eater line, and they decided what would happen, what was the best line. So what they did is they put the line on these machines, then they got the lines to they took both machines together and they started to bring the machines together until the lines did a dueling battle. And this is where you see one line from one machine and the other line coming from the other machine. And they photographed it with high-speed cameras, right? So as soon as the line broke, the other that one, as soon as the line broke, then it was disqualified. And so they had this tournament on which was the best line. Well, again, you know, it was half an hour later. You wondered, where did my time go? I was just watching this, but it was really cute. So I thought Bob did the dishwasher. This is on the this is on your weed eater line. So
you're going to tell anybody who the winner was?
Well, I don't remember the name of the line, but it was the key was these lines are made of different materials, and the one that did the best one was the solid core, the one that had the center solid core, and that was the one that did the best. Joan, what do you think about Edge? Do you use Edge?
I was amazed when I learned it was built on Chrome OS, and tickled when it. Excuse me, Chromium.
Chromium. Yeah.
On Chromium, I apologize. Yes, Chromium. I use it from time to time. I'm really kind of invested in Chrome, but I've been able to the most important extensions that I can use on Edge as well. It really depends. My primary browser is Chrome, but I do use Edge from time to time for various reasons and go various places. So I like the look of it. I think I haven't quite gotten the hang of the left-hand tabs. That's and I can understand having a more real estate on your screen to view. But I haven't quite got. It's new. It's different. It takes time to learn stuff.
Use it. I don't use the left-hand tabs.
I don't either.
I know you don't have to, but I did.
Right.
I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you.
The latest version.
I'll have to play with that.
Do you use Edge? Huey, do you use Edge?
I have several browsers installed. A lot of times, like for instance, if I'm looking at the Tech for Senior page, because I'm one of the managers of it. I see it different than I would as just a regular user. So I'll go and look at it at Edge, using Edge instead, to get an idea what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, it's an interesting tool. That really is that left-hand panel, because it leaves only the browser bar and your content in front of you, which I think is a pretty cool thing. I haven't gotten into the latest. I go in every once in a while, partly because we teach Windows at the Computer Club. So you kind of have to know about all the various parts. But it's I like it as much as I won't use it as much as I use Chrome, but it's a decent browser for my and I don't use Firefox, and I'm not an Apple user, so I don't use Safari. So does
the left-hand tabs? The left-hand tabs? Can you put them to the top? Is it movable? Or
Oh yeah, you can switch back and forth easily with the click of one icon.
Yep.
So it allows you to switch back and forth very easily. And it gives you more real estate because you don't have the tabs across the top.
I have to play with that. I did not hear about it.
Yeah, and it collapses to the side when you're in the page itself.
Or you can use F11 and get rid of the crap and have the whole thing for yourself.
Yeah, but if you are working and going to different places, you may still need that browser.
Right.
And rather than have to move the cursor to the top of the screen to get the URL, the address bar back down. It's a decent design, I think.
Where I would see a use for that is when I do screen captures to do presentations.
Exactly.
Yep.
It'd be ideal for that. So I definitely am going to play with that and try to figure it out and learn it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I saw a little note from Chris. Google Lens will read a QR code on a computer, but we were talking about being able to use that QR lens to access a site from the computer. So I'm not sure we'll have to talk with her. Yeah, it's limited. That's what it is. Limited functionality on the desktop at the moment. So it's coming, obviously.
but that would be sort of cool, is then you could just use the QR code and then you wouldn't have all this other stuff that you have to do, and it would maybe make things easier for people. I don't know.
We'd have to do something on QR Lens or Google Lens and on QR codes so people would know how to use it.
I guess.
Well, yes, absolutely.
And
people have a problem following a link. They'll certainly have a problem following a QR code.
I put this article in just so that we could talk about Chromebooks. Nothing would be great if Hugh and I didn't talk about Chromebook. Well, Bob, I think Chromebooks, this is the year of the Chromebook. I mean, it is. I've said that for a long time. And this was an article, again, by Android Authority on, they are a lot of new Chromebooks coming out, and it's a lot of interest and a lot of people using it. In fact, one of the articles I read, I think it was last year, they sold more Chromebooks than they did PCs. So Hugh and I, of course, I'll put a little ad in for us. We do our, of course, monthly learning Chromebooks. And so please go over to our website. You can sign up.
Next week.
It's not next week, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the third Thursday.
Yeah.
The third Thursday of the month. So we've got a little ways to go. I'm always nervous because I gotta create some stuff for the show. So anyway, don't give me stress, Huey. Anyway,
have you noticed that Chromebooks are coming up in price?
Well, yeah.
That's because of the chip
shortage. Is it because of the chip? Yeah, I was going to say chip shortage.
I was listening to Leo Laporte. I listen to. Well, you guys probably listen to.
Yeah.
I listen to him.
Oh my God, I've been listening to Leo Laporte since the early 90s. I mean, forever.
I know, and he was talking this morning on his Sunday show, and he said, "Look," he said, "I got to bare my soul on this." He says, "Pay attention, you guys." He says, if you buy a computer for $500, you're not getting very much, and it's not going to last.
You get a $500 computer, exactly.
Yeah, which is really. He says, I understand times are tough and all this stuff, but he says, listen, you're getting you're really getting something that isn't going to last and it's going to break and blah, blah, blah. He said, you need to spend $1,000 to buy a computer. And I guess the question really is, yes, you can buy a Chromebook for $200, but is it really something you're going to be very happy with?
No.
And really, if you look at the Chromebooks, the functionality they have now, it's why don't you get something with a nice screen and something that is nice keyboard and it's gonna last you. So I don't think the $200 Chromebooks are a great idea.
It depends. I mean, for certain situations, just like if you just need something to grab and go and just have access when you need it real quick, as an alternate to a tablet or something would be, that kind of thing, but not as a primary. No.
Yeah.
Who do you know who manufactures the largest, screen-wise, the largest? Because that's what I'm waiting for, is the largest. If they're ever going to do one above 13 or 14 inches.
Yeah,
I think it's Acer, isn't it? That has.
Yeah, I think Acer has a 15-inch. But Joan, what I always tell people is, look, you just plug a big screen in. Like you can go to Costco and get a 34-inch
But
screen.
not everybody has the space for a big screen.
Oh, I see. Okay. But you can always plug a screen in. But 15-inch, I think, is the largest. I've never seen a Chromebook that has 17 inches.
Because I've just had 17-inch laptops for so long, I would miss the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a Chrome box with a large screen would work well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the Chrome box would be a lot like my Nook. You can put it on the Visa frame on the back of the monitor and hang it there, so you're not even using desk space for that. So just have the screen itself.
I'll look into that definitely, because I've got a really nice monitor that's sitting there doing nothing because I don't have a computer to hook it into. So that's a really cool idea. I'll look into the box definitely.
Joel says YouTube channel Project Farm is an individual who has compared tools, oils, tapes, cleaners, machines. He has done weed eater threads. Oh, okay. All right. He makes his on-W test methods.
His own.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I like Google Lens on my phone. I've been using it there. Yeah, Google Lens works
definitely,
well.
Richard. Definitely.
Definitely works well. So anyway, I thought I'd put
makes
that
you
here.
a genius. Google
Pardon me?
Lens can make you appear to be a genius. I don't know what that is. I do. Look.
Who's raced out and bought the AirTags? Come on, you guys, fess up.
But why did they do Apple, who is privacy tantamount to that's the be all and end all? People can stalk other people with these things. That makes no sense. Something's wrong with that total picture to me. I don't know.
Well, they said that apparently that I was listening to that show yesterday on that, and they said if someone's following you, the AirTag will beep and it will let you know that somebody's following you. I guess that's one of the.
Somebody tagged the back end of a vehicle, so it was glued to the back end of a vehicle. How does anybody hear that when you're driving down the road? Yeah. So I think it's going to be an interesting story to watch, but I'm not getting any.
And the fact that the holder for them costs almost as much as the AirTag themselves is amazing. So that's where their money is going to be is in all of the peripherals and
always.
They figured out how to drill. You can now drill a hole in it. So that makes it easier to attach it to things because they figured out you can actually drill a hole into it.
Yeah, and I watched one where they put it in an ice cube, they put it through the wash, so they work well, but maybe they work a little too well. If you've got, in certain situations, in domestic violence situations, if you've got a controlling spouse who doesn't want their spouse anywhere that they're not knowing where they are, and it doesn't matter whether it's male and female, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. But that whole point of being able to track somebody, and I know it probably would be nice for parents to know where their kids are, but kids are tech savvy enough, they'd probably find it and put it into somebody else's pocket.
Interesting. Yeah.
There've always been devices that are used for good, and that can also be used for bad.
Exactly.
And of course, I have the tile. You know, I have the,
Sure.
I have the tile, which has been out for a long time. Does anyone have a tile? Do you guys have any tiles?
I think
In the
that
bathroom.
No. These are the little ones. You know, the only problem with the tile is you have to replace the battery. And man, is that hard to get that battery case off. It took me, it's really, really hard to do that. So
now
anyway.
are the Apple AirTags, are they rechargeable?
No, I'm not sure. I think you replace the batteries. I'm
Replaceable as well. Yeah, the little round ones.
Yep.
And they did say that one of the ways they're getting around the possibilities of monopoly and so on is apparently the AirTag and the tile are going to be able to be both used with the same phone systems. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, or whether that is in fact what they're saying, whether it's going to work that way. But the whole idea is there's a heck of a lot more iPhones out there than there are the ones that will work with the tile.
And Chris and Jim gave up on the tile, which is I haven't. Mine's still sitting in my wallet, but I think the battery went dead a long time ago. You know?
Yeah, but doesn't the Apple AirTag use the Find My app, which like find my phone, find my iPad, find my that's what I think that's what they're using is the Find My app, which is why they're able to use track somebody if they're leaving the house kind of thing, because that's the way geolocation and stuff.
Well, that's interesting. Anyway, they're going to sell a ton of those. Just another article on the Apple Watch.
I thought that was interesting. The
Apple track alcohol levels. Yeah.
No, the new VR headsets.
Oh yeah. So
more and more Wi-Fi than.
Yeah. So this is the. So we just did a big series on Tech for Senior about, of course, the Oculus Quest 2, and I know that Jim and Chris are having fun with theirs. They got one. The HTC Vive is more expensive. It's around $1,000.
Well, it looks like it.
Yeah, and it requires up until this, it is required to be tethered to a computer. So not only did you require you had to buy the actual unit, but you had to actually have it connected to a gaming computer, which was expensive, right? Yeah. However, you only get what you pay for, right? But the resolution and the speed is much superior. So people who are really, really into gaming and using VR, so these sets are sold quite frequently. But for my purposes and for what I like is the Oculus Quest 2 is perfect because it's for $300. You get the whole meal deal. You don't have to have a computer. It runs by itself. You can plug it into a computer if you want, but it runs all by itself for $300. And the big software update that they just released the last couple of weeks makes it all happen. If you want to connect to your computer, it's done wirelessly now, so you don't even have to plug a wire in. So there are a lot of advantages, but it just depends on what you want.
Ron, do you know, is it Wi-Fi or Bluetooth?
Wi-Fi.
Cool. Really cool.
Wi-Fi. So it is a lot of fun. I've had I don't use mine as much as I thought I would, largely because I'm so busy and I'm doing all sorts of other things. But it is really cool and it is fun. And as I said in my talk many times over, if you get it, and they're hard to find because the Oculus Quest they sell them out all the time, is if you do get one, you don't particularly like it, give it to your grandkids and you'll be remembered as the best grandparent in the world. You know all those ice cream cones you bought them when you were little kids? Forget it. They'll never remember that, but they will remember the day that grandpa or grandma gave them an Oculus Quest 2 for sure. Wow. So that's sort of cool. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know much about this. Do you guys know anything about this? YouTube is bringing interactive TV screens, so you're going to be able to this is not YouTube TV, but this is YouTube. And when you have this playing on your TV, but there's going to be interaction. Have you guys looked into this at all?
That's just
touch screen.
It's kind of creepy to me at this point. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Like smell-o-vision? Do you ever
I don't know.
You need a touch screen, right?
Well, no, it's a device, not necessarily.
Yeah. I don't know. It is very interesting, though, that they predict this year that that the time watched on television will be more on YouTube than it will be on cable TV, right?
I wouldn't doubt at all.
Yeah. Like most of my stuff.
How many shows do you know that have a YouTube channel? So if you don't even have to watch the show, you come and watch which parts you want on their YouTube channel.
Right.
It's just amazing the stuff you can find, that I don't have HBO, so I can't watch it there, or I'm busy doing something when the show is on, or it's really quite amazing.
Yeah. Chris and Jim say Joan is correct. It's about Find My Phone.
Yeah, that it's using that the tags are using the Find My app that's how they work. That's how you track them.
Right. So, do you know that we only have 4 minutes left? We've talked for an hour already.
How time flies when you're having fun.
Longer.
It's every Thursday.
Do you realize that
every Thursday?
I know. Do you realize we gabbed away for an hour? My gosh. My coffee cup's empty, though.
Mine too.
Mine's cold.
Yours is cold? Yes. So, well, that's sort of cool. Let me just stop sharing my device here. And there we go. Well, it's been a blast, John. Thanks so much for coming.
So much. Well, thanks for inviting me.
Will you come back sometime and visit us again?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. It's fun. I hadn't had a chance to really look into your Facebook page. I'm not a big Facebook user.
Right.
But I joined yesterday, and I will continue to watch that. And Mondays, of course, I'm busy, so I can't always watch the shows on Monday, but I'll do my best.
Yeah. Well, now the interesting thing I was experimenting yesterday is that a lot of people you don't actually have to log into Facebook to look at our Facebook page. It's like a website, and you can go there. Now, Facebook puts a little banner on the bottom saying, please sign in. But you can actually just use, because we have people that would like to watch, and because this is where we post all these tech articles, we post them all.
Exactly.
And so people would like to watch it, and they don't really want to sign into Facebook, or they don't want a Facebook account, but it's just a web page, and you can, and we do, Bob and I and Huey every day post a lot of different articles that we see to the page, and it's a way of quickly looking and seeing where tech is that might be interesting, eh?
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
We were glad to have you.
Detler says, Scott, a Zoom class starting. All right. All right. Well, I guess we got a couple of minutes left.
Yep.
We'll see where we go with that. So anyway,
if people have a Dell, they need to be careful, because they just discovered a big bug in your Dell. And the best way to do that is go directly to your Dell site. And they have a tool that can check to see whether or not you need updates, because they already have a fix.
That's what I have to do on Monday at the convenience.
I did that this morning on my Dell, and mine was not affected. So
we've got 6 all-in-ones at the computer club that members can come in and use. So I'll check those on Monday.
Yep.
My Chromebook is a Dell, but that shouldn't affect it, right?
No.
It's a Windows issue, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's something we probably should send a blurb out to our membership also, because we have a lot of Dell owners, definitely.
Yep.
Thank you for the reminder.
And Jeff says, great show. So that was good. So we had a success, and we will. So that's great. Listen, I want to thank everyone out there for coming and listening to us today. will be. Are we going to do this next Thursday? You think we should do it next Thursday?
It's on my calendar.
All right, and I think we're going to have Jim from Geeks on Tour. We'll have him here.
I'll be here listening. I'll be in the chat.
It should be a fun show.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you think, Joel? It'll be a fun show.
I'll be
Yeah,
here.
he plays with a lot more toys than we do for his
Yes,
show.
he does.
Yeah. We keep it fairly simple.
All
He's
right.
got a lot of goodies.
Will be a very good one.
Mhm.
All right. Listen, all right. So you guys stay on the line just for a second here, and I'll just end the broadcast. And we'll